When you think about Iraq's economy, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For a lot of us, it's a story that's been told for years: conflict, instability, a total reliance on oil. But what if that whole story is, well, out of date? What if, right now, under the radar, something really big is happening? Let's dig in. So, we're going to explore the evidence that suggests Iraq is moving past just planning and into a phase of real disciplined action. And that brings us to the big question for today. Is Iraq's economy not just recovering, but actually being strategically rebuilt from the ground up? And let's get one thing straight right from the start. What we're talking about today isn't just a bunch of hype or wishful thinking. And it's definitely not based on market rumors or some wild speculation. No, we're looking at actual, official strategies and documented moves. This is about one thing: execution. It's the deliberate, quiet, and disciplined work of taking a long-term economic vision off the drawing board and making it real. So, where does it all start? Well, the first huge piece of evidence is a formal blueprint, a real game plan for growing Iraq's private sector. And the idea is to make it the new foundation for the entire economy. This quote right here, it says it all. It's a whole new way of thinking. The private sector isn't just a side project anymore. It's being deliberately built to be the main engine of growth for a modern market economy. Now, what's so cool about this is just how practical it is. It's a five-step recipe, really. You start by sparking new ideas and businesses. Then you create laws that actually help them grow. And you clear out all that bureaucratic red tape that slows things down. And finally, you build the roads and the tech they need and provide the financial backing, loans and guarantees to get them off the ground. It's a really smart step-by-step approach. Okay, so that's the blueprint. Now let's look at what they're actually building. We're shifting from the how to the what, the specific things that this new engine of growth is going to power. And the foundation for this new economy? It's all digital. The focus is on a complete digital transformation. They're pushing hard for electronic payments to be the new normal, making sure more people can actually use banks. And, this is a big one, training the workforce with the modern skills they need. This all lines up perfectly with what international financial bodies have been saying for years. All of this work, every single initiative, is driving towards one huge critical goal: to finally, truly break Iraq's deep dependence on oil. For any kind of long-term stability, you've got to have more than one way to make money. And here's what that diversification actually looks like on the ground. We're talking about massive national projects. You've got everything from high-tech parks and places to grow new businesses to boosting agriculture and tourism. And underpinning all of it are two gigantic projects: the Development Road and the Port of Al-Fal. These are designed to turn Iraq into a vital trade link between Asia and Europe. It's incredibly ambitious. And just to give you a sense of the scale here, the plan calls for 15 brand new industrial cities. This isn't some small pilot program. This is a nationwide industrial revolution designed to create jobs and revenue streams that have absolutely nothing to do with oil. Okay, so you might be wondering, what does all this have to do with the exchange rate? Well, there's a direct connection. It's actually pretty straightforward. When you have a strong, productive private sector, your country's trade balance gets healthier, and your market works better. Those are the fundamental building blocks you need for a real, stable, and strong currency. It's not magic, it's just solid economics. But look, building a new economy takes more than just steel and concrete. It takes trust. It takes public confidence. And that brings us to the second key piece of this whole puzzle: a strategy to manage the story being told. And here it is. The Central Bank of Iraq has made a formal deal with the country's biggest media network. This isn't just about sending out press releases. This is a strategic partnership designed to shape how the public understands all these massive economic changes. This slide just lays it out so clearly. On the one hand, you have the risk. Rumors and bad information can totally wreck public confidence, which can be fatal during a big transition like this. So the goal is to fight that by getting out ahead of it, by delivering accurate, fact-based information to build trust in the entire financial system. It's about playing both offense and defense at the same time. And the timing of this media deal? Yeah, that's no accident either. Just look at where it slots in. It's happening after they've hit key currency milestones, during major banking reforms, and right as they're developing a digital currency. The closer the market gets to being ready for big changes, the more crucial it becomes to control the flow of information. Okay, so we have the plan for the private sector and the strategy to control the narrative.
Let's pull this all together and ask, why is this all happening now? What makes today's environment so different?
Well, this whole thing isn't happening in a vacuum. Right now, Iraq is actually operating from a position of surprising strength. They have high foreign currency reserves, non-oil revenue is already starting to grow, and that big push for electronic payments, it's working. These aren't just promises. These are the real-world conditions that make this whole execution phase possible.
And this number right here, this might be the most important one on the screen. An inflation rate of around 0.8% is incredibly low. It points to a really stable underlying economy, and that gives them a solid platform to launch all these ambitious reforms from. It's a huge advantage.
So this table pretty much summarizes the entire story we've been telling. Every single action we've talked about is tied directly to a specific economic goal. You empower the private sector to get away from oil. You go digital to make things more efficient. You control the narrative to build confidence, and you work with groups like the IMF and World Bank to support a stable currency. See? It all fits together. It's one big, cohesive strategy.
And we're going to end on this really powerful thought from the source material. It suggests that the fact that we're not hearing a lot about this, the relative silence, that isn't a sign that nothing's happening. It might actually be the sign of a very disciplined, very serious, long-term plan finally kicking into gear. And that leaves us with the big question. What is the result of all this quiet execution going to look like?